Welcome, seekers of the truth, to the Magical Services channel. So, this is going to be a most supreme horoscope for the general collective with accents on love and career for the day that is April 19th of this year of 2026. With that said, collective, but before I do, actually, let me take the time to let you, the viewers, know about the services or magical services because this is indeed quite a magical channel. So, I offer personal astrology charts of all kinds, useful for all aspects of life. Natal charts can be done to see why you are the way you are. Synastry charts can be done to see the energy between you and someone else, see if you're compatible or not, or just try to be more strategic and tactical in your approach to that relationship, as to make it endure, for instance. And I feel like synastry charts, me personally, I feel like synastry charts are better than any love reading that you could ever have done anywhere because they show you the structure of things, the down to the bone, down to the very foundation of things, and not just what's happening emotionally. And sometimes these emotional reactions in love can even be explained by some astrological things that are just happening for maybe that day or that week or that month, even, but something that'll pass. But anyhow, so those are about synastry charts, and then composite readings could be done to see the energy of a relationship created between you and someone else, as if you were an entity of its own. Once again, so you could be more tactical and strategic in your approach to that relationship. Or suppose you had a very special event in past, present, and the future, like a special date or a special appointment or any kind of event, and you want to know how the astral bodies will align for you personally in regards to that event. Whether you're setting the event or someone else set the event for you, a chart could be done for that. Once again, so you can be more strategic and tactical in your approach to that event as to get the most out of it. Now, beyond that, having been initiated into magic since the age of 10 in West Africa, I have more than 3 decades of magical practice behind me. So I have various spells in regards to various aspects of life, um, if not all aspects of life. So, should you feel like you have a magical need, then please do contact me about it and we'll see how we can make it happen. Um, and My email is in the About section below, or you could befriend me on my Facebook channel, which uh, which has the same name as this one, Magical Services, and then we can share direct messages if that is more your style. Now, oh, I forgot to mention, if you do request some magical work to be done, then its divination will be done beforehand. And I do divination with geomancy and or tarot. That's so that we can be that much more accurate and precise in our approach to that magical mission. Now, with all that said, collective, let's get into your horoscope. So, for this day for the window that is between April 19th to the 20th of this year of 2026, we are moving through a waxing crescent phase with lunar illumination increasing from just over 3% to 9%. The moon begins in the late degrees of Taurus and transitions into Gemini, marking a clear shift from stabilization into movement. This is no longer a purely grounding phase. This is where momentum begins to diversify and spread. At the same time, the Sun is closing out its final degrees in Aries, moving from 29 degrees to the critical final degree of 29.9 degrees. This is a completion point of raw initiation energy. Everything that Aries represents, action, decision, assertion, is reaching its peak expression. There is urgency here, but it is not chaotic, it is focused, it is intentional, and it is finalizing a cycle of direct action. All major planetary bodies involved remain in direct motion. Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune continue advancing through Aries without interruption, reinforcing a system that does not allow hesitation. Forward movement is not optional, it is structurally embedded into this cycle. At the same time, the Taurus field remains active but begins to transition. Venus continues its steady progression through mid Taurus, reinforcing themes of value, stability, and material grounding. Uranus remains at the final degree of Taurus, holding a constant pressure for sudden realization or disruption within what is being stabilized. The moon, however, does not remain in Taurus, it exits. This is the key shift. What this creates is a system that begins with consolidation but evolves into dispersion. Aries initiates, Taurus stabilizes, Gemini distributes. At the beginning of this cycle, the energy is still anchored. The moon in Taurus reinforces emotional grounding, practical decisions, and a focus on what holds value. There's a continuation of the previous pattern, testing, stabilizing, confirming. But as the moon reaches the final degrees of Taurus and crosses into Gemini, the entire dynamic changes. Emotional energy becomes mobile, thought processes accelerate, communication increases. What was being solidified now begins to move outward. This is the turning point of the cycle. Civilization is no longer the primary objective, distribution is. In love, the shift is highly significant. Venus in Taurus continues to demand consistency, loyalty, and tangible value in relationships. It does not compromise on what is real. However, the moon's transition into Gemini introduces variability. Emotional expression becomes more fluid, more communicative, and less fixed. This creates a dual dynamic in the relationships. On one level, there is a strong desire for stability and reliability. On another level, there is an increasing need for mental stimulation, conversation, and movement. Relationships that are stable but stagnant begin to feel pressure. There is a need for interaction, for engagement beyond routine. At the same time, relationships that lack stability but rely on stimulation, only on stimulation, will struggle to hold ground under Venus in Taurus. This is where clarity emerges. The balance between stability and adaptability becomes critical. Communication becomes a defining factor. What is said, how it is said, and where it aligns with actions will determine the direction of connections. Uranus at the final degree of Taurus continues to act as a destabilizing force where necessary. Sudden realizations, unexpected conversations, or rapid shifts in relational dynamics can occur, particularly as the moon activates movement into Gemini. These shifts are not random, they expose what is not aligned with real value. And Gemini, I said Gemini, but the destabilization of Uranus really has a purpose to it. It only destabilizes what is not stable. Um, but for anything that is grounded and stable, it skips that. It doesn't touch that. But anyhow, in career and material matters, the pattern follows a similar trajectory. The Aries concentration continues to drive execution. Mercury, Mars, and Saturn moving through Aries create a highly active decision making environment. Plans are not being developed, they are being implemented. The Sun at the final degree of Aries intensifies this further. There is a closing push, a final surge of action before transition into a new phase. This is where unfinished actions are completed, where decisions are finalized, and where hesitation is eliminated. The Taurus influence continues to evaluate outcomes. Venus in Taurus maintains a strict standard for value. Actions taken under Aries are immediately tested for their ability to produce tangible results. There is no delay between action and evaluation. However, the entry of the moon into Gemini introduces a new layer, adaptability. Strategies may need to adjust quickly. Information flow increases. Communication, networking, and the exchange of ideas become more relevant to material progress. Jupiter in Cancer continues to expand opportunities connected to security, alignment, and long term stability. But this expansion remains conditional. It responds directly to what is being built, stabilized, and now communicated. Growth is not passive, it follows structure, consistency, and adaptability. Pluto in Aquarius continues a slow restructuring process in the background, reinforcing that the systems being engaged now are part of a larger transformation. While immediate actions dominate the foreground, long term shifts are being anchored beneath them. By the end of this cycle, the progression is clear. What began as stabilization moves into motion. What was grounded becomes active. What was internal begins to circulate. What begins now is decisive action reaching completion. What stabilizes is what proves its value under pressure. What evolves is what can adapt, communicate, and move without losing its foundation. This is a transitional phase, not chaotic but dynamic. The movement from Taurus into Gemini shifts the entire field from holding to expressing, from securing to distributing. The decisions made here do not remain contain. They extend outward, and how they are communicated, adjusted, and carried forward will determine their long-term impact. So that's what I had for you today, Collective. I hope you enjoyed it. I surely made it for you to enjoy. And if you did, please like this video or comment this video or share this video or subscribe to our channel so you get first dibs on future uploads. And of course, that would help me very much grow the Supreme channel of ours. And check out the other stuff that's on the channel. I got long video format videos and shorts, all sign ones, sign specific ones, um, divination readings and horoscope readings, and really whatever else you want to see. I long for you all to tell me what you want to see. Like somebody comment what city you live in, and I'll do a horoscope on that city. You know what I mean? Like engage me, because this is our channel. Let's make it grow together. But anyhow, thank you so much, Collective, for being here. I appreciate your time very much, and until the next time, blessings.